Okay, cool. I am recording starting now. And just
Cool.
to recap a little bit of this, yeah, uh, I guess let me just make sure I'm on the same page with what you said. Um, so you would like to take a look at some of the Ice Climber games that you played in tournament, and you want to see like how you are using some baits that you had like thought of beforehand, like that you were trying on ranked in your friends and stuff like that, seeing how they apply versus new opponents, seeing how you could learn some new options to use in neutral. Um, and then you're trying to figure out consistency, right? Like why, how you're feeling, maybe why you're feeling shaky, or maybe things to try out to eventually overcome that.
Yeah, I just want to have like a better sense of like how what my like win condition should be against ice climbers like overall is kind of my goal for this video. I would say if I had to like kind of like boil it down. But
Mm-hmm.
basically all that stuff is kind of like ways that I would like to reach that. It's just like kind of covering the stuff that um because I'm very habitual player and I need to kind of break out of my habits a lot more just because like my experience at this point is carrying me and like not my practice and like I want to kind of get more of a I want to study more basically. I don't think I study enough.
Totally. And I don't know if you've heard me rant about this before. I think I maybe mentioned it a little bit, but how I was talking about like matchup docs and like improving your knowledge and stuff like that.
I
Uh,
did start a Google Doc after you talked to me.
that's awesome. I love that. But I always stand by that just because like you know, if you're frustrated with the game, it's like usually because like you don't know how to improve or don't know what's going on. But like the more you're able to like catalog your knowledge and like organize it, it's like you could see it for what it is and figure out like where the gaps are and like
Yeah.
ever like backtrack or like lose what you have.
Uh-huh.
Because I played for years like this where I didn't really keep track of my notes that well, and it was like sometimes I would doubt like this is before Slippy, right? Like I would doubt
Uh-huh.
like man, have I actually gotten worse? Like because I don't know what I was doing back then, to be good enough to win some of these sets, right? And then it's
Yeah.
like I don't know, like maybe I was playing godlike or something, and that's like the thing with consistency too. It's like if you play all on intuition and forget it, then it's hard to recover it back exactly like how you had it. But if you have
Right.
it, build up the knowledge, like you improve your floor and you like I think you become a better player when you just learn more about the game for sure.
Definitely. I totally agree with that. I definitely want to like always know exactly what causes a situation to occur so that I can make the most out of it.
Yeah, and that's a great thing to strive for. So I sent you a
Yeah.
Google Doc just now. Can you make sure that you can like see it and everything? I was thinking we could take some notes in there for the session.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I do see this. Okay, cool. This is what you just wrote out. This is awesome. Cool.
Yeah. And so there's nothing really there, but I usually start off my sessions with like people like this, like as a reminder, like I'm not a top player of your character, so I don't have all
Uh-huh.
the answers, necessarily. But this might be similar to a session where you watch your own VODs and like you don't have the answers to, your own questions always because you're like, shit, I don't know what to do here. But
Yeah.
like by tracking or like being able to turn watching the VODs into questions, those are the questions you can talk to other people about or like watch
I
pro
totally
players.
Yeah, I that's actually like such a good point too. Have I've been, like, trying to do that on my own, like, when I especially with, like, Marth, I'll, like, really try to
Mhm.
figure out, like, how to get off platforms against Marth when he's, like, comboing me, and, like, just the Fox R&D Discord and, like, the other Discords, like, you just, like, post a message and you get a response in, like, 15 minutes, and, like, someone has, like, a good answer for you, which I think is really cool, and sometimes it sparks conversation that, like, helps those people get new answers, and it really feeds into itself, and I think that's so great, and I think that's why I wanna, like, at the very least, I wanna be able to come away with questions to, like, help further, like, build my knowledge, just, like and I might even find out something that I wasn't even looking for that's super useful.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely think the Discords are a great place. It is true, sometimes people talk in there without really knowing what they're talking about, but it's like even conversation, like talking about the game, will help you just have new ideas and like
Yeah,
it'll help you like
definitely.
be in the mindset for learning, like because oh my god, there's so many things in Melee that are kind of cool, but like one of them I think is a lot of people get stuck on like trying to win even in like friendlies or like stuff like that, and they're not really thinking as much about like experimenting or like thinking about like new stuff because they just want to win. Like that's it's a game,
Yeah.
right? It's a competitive game, but
It,
absolutely like the more you interact with that Discord, I'm sure it's going to be really good for your like improvement.
I agree. It's just like you have to know what stuff to take at face value. Like you have to be confident in the stuff that you already know because I do find myself like questioning some things people type and like also same for people with me. Like I am not as knowledgeable as I'd like to be in some things and like I think I remember something correctly and I'm like, "Oh, wait, like maybe this is actually the other way." Like I don't know if I've ever had like an epiphany with it, but it definitely seems like a lot of the time like things can be subject to change in this game. Not like it's gonna change, the game is gonna change, but you have to like be ready for your information to be wrong because there's so many factors, so many variables.
Oh yeah, and literally top players they spread misinformation too. Like I've watched have you seen any of the fiction videos? Like lessons that he uploads to YouTube?
I've been watching a lot of the fiction videos. Does he post misinformation? Because that would be really bad.
I mean, it's okay. He is a really good teacher, and he says so many good things. But yeah, he has some misinformation sometimes, right? And it's just like I think no one knows everything about Melee because there's always
Yeah,
like what there's tons of bugs in the game too, right? And like
yeah,
mechanics that we don't fully understand. But yeah, there's definitely some stuff that fiction says that's like that's not right at all. But it's like minor things like I think if you watch fiction videos, you can pretty much trust everything like strategies and like stuff like that. And if you're ever like there's no reason not to trust it because I think fiction does a really good job of like um, proving his points, like explaining to you why they make sense, which is like, oh, if you have a reason to believe it, then it's like, I think that's totally fine. Like, it's the same for the Fox Discord. Like, if someone says something and you're doubting of it, like, you can ask them, like, oh, do you have like a source for this or can you prove it? Like, how can I confirm this? And that helps you probably learn about the game too. Um,
yeah. I feel like a lot of the time people will pull up like sets of like those scenarios like unfolding,
mhm,
or they have something in mind. That's something
mhm.
I actually want to like maybe get good at like tracking too. Like I would like to be able to like pick out moments where like a top player did something in set and it worked, and like in what situation they kind of conditioned their opponent to like get to make it work, or what scenario did they have this option available that their opponent wasn't expecting, and like I want to learn those like kind of little things too, because that to me is like very separating knowledge from where I'm at right now, because I feel like a big thing that I rely on is I do rely on like little movement tricks, or like not necessarily like very good shield pressure necessarily. Like I don't feel like I go in with like very honest like shield pressure. I just like go in with like uh ways to get my opponent to like throw out whiffs a lot of the time.
Gotcha.
And then that might be why I'm suffering too, because I try to whiff punish too much.
Yeah, I would say it's interesting with Fox. Oh, let me screen share too. Because
Sweet.
Fox is a character that like there are some matchups I think Fox really has to rely more on with punishing, and there's some matchups where Fox is a character who can stuff characters too because he's so fast. Which running shine with like even just short hop like Nair and short hop drill and stuff like that. Those moves are so
Yeah.
fast as well. So it's like I would say like versus like Falcon, Falco. Um, who was another character that Fox stuffs? Those are the main ones I think of. But like basically you just like run at them like all the time instead of dash dancing because they're tools for spacing like lasers or Falcon's range and speed. Like Fox can't even though he has a really good dash dance, like it loses kind of a lot of situations to their stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I think with lasers, I understand what you're saying with Falco, and with Falcon, it's like I do kind of feel that when I'm playing a really good Falcon. Like I play Papa Squat sometimes, and like
Hmm.
he will just like anytime I even try to get in, he just dash dances around like whatever I'm doing, and then like is
Exactly.
able to
Yeah.
play. Sweet.
So can you see this on the left side and the notes?
Yeah, I can. That's perfect.
Sweet. And then my recording is a little messed up, so I'm gonna fix that. Um,
I don't really remember how I played in these games. If I like I just remember game 1, like, I was just getting a lot of F smash reads, like, at the very beginning, and it was really, like it was making me feel very confident. I also just play I never play Ice Climbers, by the way. I played an Ice Climber right before this in my pool. So I already had, like, the warm up for this match, and I was, like, super confident even though I knew this guy was, like I'd seen his record, he was already, like, up 2-0 in his, like, games, and I was like, "Okay, like, this guy's probably gonna be pretty good, so I have to, like, be careful," and he just like, his Nana wasn't shielding a lot of the time, and I was just trying to, like, pick her off.
Hmm. And that's good that you felt prepared because that means like we'll see some like of your ideas rather than just like randomness probably. Um,
I think really the big thing is that I'm more comfortable and I won't be like messing up like inputs as much just because like I think a big thing is like when I'm not confident, I do like kind of crumble. And like that's something I do need to actively work on. And it's something that I'm trying to find ways to work on, but it's just not inherently obvious. I've had some good ideas pass by me where it's like, oh, if you're playing somebody like in friendlies, challenge them to a best of five after, or like sometimes I like hit up people to be like, "Hey, do you want a money match today?" or something like that. You know, just to like put some pressure on myself, just and expose myself to that more than just going to tournament.
yeah, totally. And it doesn't even have to be money too. Like you could put something else on the line if you could find something that motivates you.
Yeah, for sure.
I did want to say one thing too is, well, no, okay. I wanted to. I was thinking of answering this question right now, but I think we should just watch it first, actually. So let's just
You
play the game, and I'm gonna let it pretty much play through unless I have something to say or you want to stop too. But we can kind of slip
okay?
around.
Sounds good.
I see that smashes now.
Yeah, I was feeling F smash so heavy in the beginning here, and it was working so well. I wanted to up smash him there, but he kind of got to me first. I was just trying to read him coming in. Because I know that like Luigi, I think about ICs like Luigi where like they can get in with like one wave dash across the stage and that's very like tempting for them. So I will try to like read that sometimes.
Yeah, it's not like the characters that can dash dance. Like Wave Dash has lag to it, right? So it's like
Yeah.
yeah, and it's the only way these
And
characters, Luigi and Ice Climbers, can move. Yeah. So
and also just like the fact that up smash has like that really good priority to it, like on the off chance they do get a clink off of it, like I can still respond like pretty quickly.
oh yeah, F Smash is a good move.
Yeah, it's super good. Even I feel like I spam it definitely sometimes, but it's worth it too. I know like grabbing climbers is kind of you have to like really be careful and like hit
Definitely.
like release your grabs like quickly. That was probably supposed to be up tilt right there. I think I just got it. Nice.
Oh yeah, that's classic. Missing that tilt or up tilt and
Yeah,
getting up tilt.
yeah. It kind of worked. Oh, she's there. Nice. Let's go. I love that. Yeah, I was just trying to keep them separated a lot of the time. I felt like as long as I do that, like Sopo against like my Fox should like not be an issue.
That was a good combo, by the way. Being
Thank
able
you.
to like let's see, like when any floaties are pretty much low percent, like this type of up air and then up tilt and then back air, like that, like versus a floaty who dies, probably like 70% to up smash off the top, right? This is good. This is
Yeah,
really good.
that's some good damage. Yeah. If I had been grounded, I think that probably could have been pretty bad.
Actually, I want to see how you got grabbed here. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Get drill to full hop drill probably not the move. It's never really the move.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, it can
You
be
got it.
versus some characters like Falco, but um, yeah, I think that's probably the main one. Because if they come in with like
Yeah.
a laser or like an aerial that you get to whiff punish.
Yeah, for sure. I was kind of surprised they reacted to that so.
I found to see this too. Oh yeah, you're actionable. You're dashing here. Gotcha.
Oh yeah. I could have maybe just up smashed. There's some times where like I'm like, oh man, I should have realized that I was creating a situation where my opponent was barely not going to get to me in time. That was good. I like that one. And somehow I end up losing this game.
Let's see how you got the kill. Oh nice, up tilt up there at the ledge. Okay. Are you sure you lose this game? I thought you won the first one, but okay.
Because I almost four stock the game too.
Oh, okay, okay.
But that's because I took it to Battlefield and I'm like insanely practiced on Battlefield. Like I would say like if you had to like look at my stage practice, like I have practiced 90% on Battlefield and I'm very, very confident there.
Yeah, that's a good and bad thing.
It's I know. It is I the thing is, like, I have some really good, like, stage specific tech on Battlefield, but I just don't like it also means that, like, my movement is kind of, like, all geared toward it. Like, there was so many times where, like, I could have actually just been, like, full hopping and up airing to, like, oppress underneath the platform there, and I should have been, like, just to, like, get a free, like, poke underneath. Damn, yeah, I that instant side B was a really, like, that was just a nerve reaction, and
Mhm.
I don't know what it is about people going to center and that makes me wanna do that, but I thought shortening it would do it, and he still punished it. He punished every single, like,
Yep.
shorten I think I did.
Yeah, exactly. You actually died like 3 times for that same situation.
I didn't even
Um,
realize that, that's crazy.
yeah, and so like yeah, after the first time they're like, oh, this is working. Like this person's probably gonna keep doing, or like I'm gonna keep killing them if they keep doing it. So they were ready.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, they got me.
yeah, for sure. Although you did have some good stuff. I think there's plenty of good things that we could like write down here that would be like good to remember for the future for sure.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. Any initial thoughts? We didn't really stop it that much, but what do you think about that game? Like anything that stood out? Because it doesn't even have to be like you memorized everything. I just want to know if you have any thoughts at all, like takeaways or anything like that.
My biggest, like, thing for me in this matchup is, like, I don't really know what to expect when I get grabbed, and I think so when he's grabbing me, um I'm not really prepared for it. I just kind of remember a little bit of like a clip of Leffen talking to Axe about like, oh, if climbers like try to do a like re-grab throw or whatever, if you ASDI like up or down, like you can kind of get out of it sometimes. So I'm just like holding C stick and like mashing and like hoping that something happens. Um,
Hmm.
but I felt like a lot of the time, like I'm not even really like sure how I like lost it honestly, except for those three shortens. Like I just like felt like I didn't really know how to safely get back on a ledge because I'm definitely not like practiced enough with my ledge dashes to be relying on that. And I think that maybe I could have gone for some safer ways to get back on. But my biggest thing is like once I get back on stage, like I talked about grab earlier. I might go for grab on a different character if I like try to like go for like a quick like oh I just you know ledge refresh and then like empty get up or something and then I would go for grab, but I just don't know what to do because I don't have access to running shine as easily because I have to wait for the 12th frame of my run animation to get it out unless I JC shine and I that's just like that's a kind of a scary input to like want to do like when getting it from ledge. Um so I don't know. I just don't know what to do when I'm getting back on ledge from for ices. Like what is my option to do there?
Yeah. So you're right. Normally, I would say you should ledge dash, but if you're not feeling confident on ledge dash, the second option is going to the side plats. But on this stage, it's really cramped, right? Like the side plats are
Yeah.
like very attackable for ices. So I think you're forced to ledge dash on the stage, like because you saw the side B to
Okay.
center. Like if ices stand in center, they can also cover like the slow get ups to ledge.
Everything.
Like yeah, it's because the stage is so small, and so for
Yeah.
that reason, if you can't ledge dash, like this is kind of a dangerous stage, because
Yeah.
I completely agree with everything you're saying. Like you said, you felt uncomfortable in the corner, and you're right because you died pretty much every time from the corner. Or like that's
Yeah.
you were unable to like get it back to a neutral situation. Like a lot of time, they
Yeah.
were able to push the advantage.
Right. Like
And
I feel like if I get him in the corner, I can just like force him to roll through, and then I'm like starting cross ups and like separating them, and then when they try to run back to each other, I just F smash and keep them out, and like that was working for me really well.
mhm, mhm,
And yeah, like it's like, but when I'm recovering, like it just like it was like other characters I feel like their win condition is a little bit more like because they could just wave dash in and then down smash and that's just so quick and it does
mhm,
like it sends out like it sends outward and that's also really good. Like otherwise it's like Marth looks for F smash and down tilt, but they're kind of like laggy and committal, but I guess just like the fact that ice climbers can kind of just get in and do that attack, like all like kind of makes it feel like it has a big range as opposed to like being like two inputs. It's like this F smash can cover all of this area, or down
mhm.
smash can cover all this area, and then you get hit twice too. So, um, I think I definitely see what you're saying about ledge dashes, and maybe I need to grind those out a little bit more, and like just maybe even to the point where like I can um comfortably just get like a shine off of one, like a ledge dash shine, and like that way I can like at least jump out of it and like maybe go to top plat because I know the ices can't really do much against you if you're at top plat, right?
Yeah, I would say they have trouble dealing with it. Not like Yoshi's and Fountain less so, but yeah, they still do have
Hmm.
trouble because they have to like full hop up air or like double jump waveland to get it up there. So it's like it takes them a while. Like they have to use resources,
Yeah,
and if they get hit out of their double jump, then they might die. So it's like
yeah, that's true.
yeah, okay. So I don't know if you're still looking at the Google Doc, but I wrote down three
Yeah.
of these takeaways, and I think these are all fantastic. Like if you just watched this replay, like or like if you were on the schedule of like going to a tournament a week and you watch like the
Hmm.
sets you lost with this type of things, like how you realize some things that were problematic for you or like where you're uncomfortable, and
Yeah.
you've turned these into questions like, what do I do when I get grabbed? What do I do when I'm stuck on the ledger in the corner? Like, how do
Uh-huh.
I deal with wave dash and down smash? Like,
Yeah.
if you learn the answer to these things, it's like you have a road or a pathway to like improvement because you can get the answers to these questions and you'll absolutely be like a better player for next time if you can answer them and like be able to
Definitely.
try them out.
Yeah, and like also just like being able to like recognize like because Fox Ices is fairly common in like set play. Like I could probably find sets like that would answer these same questions if I at least can't like if I can't find someone that is like giving me the answers that I need, I can always kind of find a VOD that has a similar kind of feel of what I'm trying to go for. Because I definitely consider myself more of a visual learner, like
Hmm.
more than just like talking things through. Just because I'm not looking at like percents. I'm just kind of like feeling the game out, and like it's like what you said with like instinctual play. Like it's hard to kind of like maintain that ceiling that you might be pushing yourself to by just like putting it all into like being reactionary or like instinctual like because you just eliminate the other thought process and rely on like just core experience
Right.
and reading your opponent. And I think that that's something that like I want to like again like increase my floor like raise my floor on.
Yeah. And oh my God, there's so many fun things about Melee. I was just gonna add one more thing too, which is like a lot of people have been telling me to, because I've been always ranting, like talking about how it's so good to improve your floor. And then people tell me that like, oh, but then I feel like I'm overthinking, in game. And I'm like, well, that's totally fine for like friendlies and stuff, because like the results don't matter. But like in
Yeah.
tournament, ideally, after all the stuff you did outside of tournament, like practicing, like planning, like eventually you get to a point where those things become internalized and they become your new instincts, so you can do them, as fast as possible and
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it's a long cycle of it takes time to learn stuff, and then eventually it becomes instinct. But
I
you
think
refine
that
your
kind of
instinct over
weaves in and
time.
out
Yeah, for
like
sure.
that like if you're not practicing, like if you're not doing friendlies enough and like kind of trying to innovate and try new things, then that like you said is probably not going to change like your game flow. And I see parts of my game flow that like stick the same because either I think they're really good or like I consider them like my own personal style and I'm trying to like push that a little bit. You'll notice that I do this thing where like I run in and I shine and then I turn around in the shine and wave dash out, and then immediately go for F smash afterward, and like it just punishes shield grab for trying to shine someone, and
Hmm.
um,
You do
that's
F
kind of like
smash,
something
you
that
said?
yeah I do F smash, or but that's the thing is like I do F smash by default, but I'm trying to like mix it up to where like instead of doing that F smash initially after, like I might go for like a grab and like
Yeah.
can create like an RPS out of it because I think that is like the next step to making it like a really good option because I've gotten compliments on like very good player that I played with, and I realized that it's something to keep in my game plan.
Yeah. The other reason I would say F smash or grab is really good is because Fox has one of the best grab games in like the whole like it's so fundamental to his punish game because you get kills and combos off of it. Like
Yeah.
in this fast followers, it leads to tech chase on the platforms or chain grab for the spacies, right? Or it can lead to the
Mhm.
kill move like up throw back air, up throw up air. You've killed with those moves,
Right.
I'm sure. And like versus floaties, you have up throw up air, or you have like I guess that's the main thing, and you can juggle some of them too, right? With up air, like
You can also
Sheik from
like down
Marth.
throw some floaties.
Yeah, and you can get a smash on a read or tech chase totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, grab is good, not just because it has a mix up with like attacking with aerials, but because it's so powerful.
Yeah, definitely. It is very powerful, and I also don't know if it's like something to consider, but I really don't think I pummel enough, and maybe that's not something to think about for this matchup, just because of the fact that there's two of them.
Oh yeah, I agree. I
So
think
maybe that's a good thing.
yeah, I think pummels are probably like the least of your worries. Like it's an optimization thing, but it's not like why you're losing or winning games, I would say. You know.
Yeah. Any character, by the way, can any character buffer down throw out of pummel?
I'm pretty sure it was C-Stick.
Yeah, because I remember like watching the reads and like Levitch was talking about it, saying you got to like C stick like buffer down throw and you can get a free pummel off of a grab. And I was like, okay, well that makes sense with Sheik because she has a heavy grab game, but I didn't know if it was like a universal tech or like character specific because there is just so much jank in this game, and that's not something I have a huge knowledge of is like pummel specifics or mechanics.
Yeah, and that's something I don't know either. And if you ask in the Fox Discord, I think you might, get people who don't know what they're saying.
Yeah,
So like if you want to look up the mechanics of melee, usually Smashboard posts are the most accurate. Because like people like I don't know, this was before melee blew up, and so like people just were right because that was all they had left. They couldn't get like clout for saying, whatever they thought and whatever.
yeah.
So Smashboard posts are really good. Or if you have, do you have the new Uncle Punch, the Patreon one?
I am on the Patreon. I have version 3.0 Alpha 6. Is that the newest one?
I think it's 7.2, but yeah, like if you're
Oh,
on the Patreon, you could just get the whatever newest version is. But
okay.
so that one is super cool because it has frame by frame. So if you're ever not sure about the inputs or something like that, oh my god, I could do a whole like an hour like teaching about Uncle Punch sometime if you're really curious. But like um, one thing that's really cool is you can do stuff frame by frame, and like we could kind of test the buffer thing right now, and it might lead us to some answers, but it would kind of derail us. Maybe we'll do it at the end um, of this. Let's see. But I actually want to write down some of this stuff too. So one thing I think is super good for like when you do these types of sessions is making sure you have like clear next steps, because like it'll make it easier for you. Like it's less energy, to actually just like check them off. Like okay, I should do this thing instead of like formulating them later. That takes more energy, I would say.
What do you in reference to what exactly?
Oh, like what you need to practice, or like finding answers to the questions, I would say. Like, do you see
Okay.
where I am in the Google Doc right now?
Yeah.
So normally there's like I think two categories of things. It's like things you can practice directly in Uncle Punch or like friendlies. It's like, oh, I know I need to play some to do this. But then these are more, I would say, sometimes they're passive because you can ask people in the Discord and they might have answers for you. Or you could like look for, I don't know, um, you
Uncle
might
Punch
have to do
save
things
save.
like watch YouTube videos to figure out this stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted to write some of these down too and to prioritize some of them. So I think all these were still really good. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure
definitely.
um, how to DI, SDI for um, ice, icy throat almost. And I think the most obvious one that you were talking about, like the one Leffen or whoever was talking about,
Mhm.
you'll find an answer to this one like directly. I'm pretty sure it's like you DI away and you also use ASDI with C-Stick. But I
Uh-huh.
don't remember the exact specifics of it because I also don't play versus Ice Climbers that much, so I actually don't know it. But
I'm sure it's like ASDI down probably. I know that that like gets a lot of mileage in a lot of situations and like holding sideways and down because isn't it that like if you use C stick ASDI that like there's an X and Y value and like if you push it more towards one of those values it's going to inherently take away from the other. So like that's why people have notches is to get like specific weird like slide offs against in like weird hits like 2 frame window where you like you tech roll on a platform you're like off the side of the platform like 2 frames and you can C stick like ASDI like in a weird way to make it so that you can you hit a specific value where you don't you can like slide off versus like up tilt and up air for instance would be like a good way of like kind of saying it like you get to kind of option coverage which is like this one like notch but it's like that's too much for me like I can't like get into that stuff I just want to be like realistic with like what's possible with the controller that I have and like what if it's an inescapable option because I don't know was if I was talking to you about it but I talked to someone oh I was talking to Connect 4 Master that's who it was he was saying that sometimes you just get fucked and like you just have to like accept it. And so like that's kind of where I want to know is like where does the road end also? Like
Hmm.
not just like how far can I push my stuff, but where does this end? Like if I get in this situation, am I fucked? And then
Yeah,
if they whiff it, like what can I do to not be fucked anymore? You know, like
yeah.
because
And
that's really all I can do is hope that they miss.
yeah, and I would say versus some characters, even at your level, like I would say like versus Jigglypuff, if you get grabbed, like I mean you obviously want to DI, so it makes them harder for to get rested. But like Ice
Yeah.
Climbers, Puff, like Mars, a lot of times when you get grabbed, it's like you might die here. But there obviously is defensive play you can do to make it hard for them. Like you should try to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, are they, tech with those grabs, I worry about tech traps, but I'm not good at watching out for them at all. I just try to like not tech the first hit usually, and that
Hmm.
that will help me. That helps me out a lot.
For sure. But yeah, I wanted to put all these into questions. I mean, I'm just gonna write them down here. I was thinking probably the most important is the ledge one because we saw you die a couple times to it, and like
Yeah,
in melee, I guess the purest form is how are you taking stocks and how are you dying. Those things
right.
will directly improve your gameplay if you can avoid those or get them more right.
Uh-huh.
Um, so let's see how to get out of the corner or ledge? And these are kind of two separate questions because the corner is like you have access to full hop and stuff like that and platforms. Versus
Right.
ledge, you have like ledge dash or like side B or roll or stuff like that. But I would recommend
Yeah.
probably watching Top Fox because I'm sure some of them have sets where they're not comfortable ledge dashing, especially if you go like further back in time, like pre
Yeah.
2015. And those are still like good level melee sets to watch still. Like you can
I
still
agree.
learn tons of things.
Yeah.
Pre
I mean, if
2015.
you just like watch how like Leverage is moving in like fucking 2009 or some shit, then it's
Right,
like
yeah.
okay,
It's
like
like they're better than me, so like yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Um,
I
wait,
like that. That's a good way of looking at that though. Like obviously people are not going to be ledge dashing a lot back then, but ice climbers probably are still wave dashing and down smashing. I'm pretty sure that that's how like wobbles like won a lot of his sets.
totally,
So wave
totally.
dash and down smash.
Yeah, like the meta advances for characters, but like the staples are consistent. So like it's kind of cool that like when you're still like going through mid level, you could still just reference a bunch of these old sets, and it's like still really helpful.
Yeah.
How to deal with Wave Dash in Down Smash. And like I would kind of categorize it too, I think might help. Like how to deal with it versus shield. Like can you punish out of
Yeah.
shield? How to
Hmm.
deal with it from whiff. Um, how to like get it to whiff. Like
Yeah, right,
B.
right. That's a good one. I like that. Spot dodge maybe too.
Yep, that's another one, sure. Dodge, roll. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, and then so yeah, I think honestly, like if I'm looking at the timing for the session too. We've been 30 minutes. Like if you did
Uh-huh.
this once a week, you could improve at like a pretty steady pace. Of course, we talked
Okay.
more than we needed to. Like you had this stuff like way earlier. Actually, like I just I was talking for too long. But um, like if you did this for like I would say I usually try to work on like one or two matches at a time. But like because I have my matchup docs, I always like I try to write like oh, here's what I want to experiment with next, or here's what I want to try to improve on. Like, even if I'm not actively focusing on it, if like someone offers me friendlies or something, I'm like, I go to my doc and be like, okay, here's some things I could practice or like, try to work on still. And it
Oh,
doesn't have to be like my
nice.
main focus of the week or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, like you said, like you don't have to worry so much about friendlies like in terms of winning. You just have to like make sure that you're getting some benefit from them.
Yeah, exactly.
And that could be any number of things. Like I typically try to push myself to fight players that are better than me a lot of the time just because I want to see the gap and like understand like just how much I need to put in because unranked doesn't really help me with that. It's a little bit too sporadic. Even with the MMR update, like I feel like I mean it's better now, but it's still like sometimes it's I do get placed against some people that are better than me, like by a good margin, or like people that are way worse. And um I like to fight people that are like better because they're you typically better at adapting, and a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, if I play it too monotonously, like gets like they catch on to it. Like people have good answers for what I'm doing a lot of the time. So I know that like what I'm doing is like still needs a lot of work, and like I need to have backup options for what I'm doing too, and
Oh,
ways to like
totally.
condition my opponent.
Yeah.
Do you want to look at this next game?
I wanted to show you one more thing actually too.
Okay.
So, um, I, I actually want to, yeah, finish this off first. So, good things to remember that you're doing. What did you like when we watched this? We can watch it one more time quickly to answer this, or
Yeah.
if you remember off the top of your head, you can do that.
The things that I liked from it, I think that I did a pretty good job of actually like hitting the climbers, and I think that I did do some unsafe things on shield, and I think that if I built space with climbers, I was fairly confident, just because I do have I don't have like a great spread of matchup experience, so I have a lot of like time put into a few characters, and one of them is Luigi. I have a buddy who like I play Luigi against like all the time, and I am very prepared to like deal with wave dash in options.
Hmm.
So I feel like when I build space, I'm very comfortable against climbers, and like I have also built up my knowledge of like, oh, you can use lasers to kind of bait movement in and then play around that too, and like realize that you're kind of creating a new circumstance or like a thought process in your opponent's head. Like once they see you start like one or two lasers, they kind of get an idea that they want to come in on you a little bit more. I didn't really have to worry about that because we're on fountain. Like so it's not like a big deal, but I just felt comfortable building space. So like when I was distant with climbers, I was good, and I felt like F Smash was doing a good job of like kind of stuffing them, like you were talking about earlier. Like I was stuffing with F Smash a lot because it was free a lot of the time against Nana, and then every time I got them separated, I was just F smashing. So I felt like I did good when I separated them. I felt good when I was spacing against them, but I didn't feel good when I was like directly scuffling at range 0 with them.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that I mean, obviously, I did say punish, but I really feel like in scuffles, like I don't feel super comfortable because I don't double shine. I only really shine grab, and I've kind of said that grab I feel like is a bad thing for me to be trying in this matchup unless I'm like immediately throwing or like throwing into another climber, which is only really good with like forward throw, like at the most, or back throw if I'm like lucky. Um, so yeah, I think I know the things I'm comfortable with. I'm not really sure like what I'm like not comfortable with yet. Because I just know that at range 0, I'm like very uncomfortable. Like don't really have like a good answer. I tried to full hop drill that one time, and that did not do anything for me.
Totally. I mean, we actually got another good question here out of this, like for you to think about, which is how do you get out of scuffles versus ice climbers?
Yeah,
And actually, I wanted to say one more thing too about what we were talking about earlier, which was if you have multiple matchup docs and like you're trying to juggle a lot, it doesn't mean that you have to, focus on each matchup. Like ice climbers, it's probably one of your lower priorities, right?
right.
But it doesn't mean like you can't have this stuff like even if you okay, I would recommend you do some of this just for the habit, like to get into like trying to answer your questions. But like even if you didn't get through this whole list, it means like the next time you play ice climbers, like in friendlies or in tournament, you can talk to your opponent about some of the stuff too, like after you play or during, or like
Oh
and
yeah,
see if they have suggestions for you because they would love for it to be better practice if it's friendlies, right? Or like
yeah, definitely.
you know. So just another thing, like I just wanted to say, like, even though we're adding more stuff on it, I think it's just entirely beneficial because it's like you don't have
It
to
is.
try to multitask it. It's just more
Right.
obvious areas for you to grow.
Yeah, I can just kind of like even it's almost like a checklist too. Like if I do play a set, like I can look at this and like kind of say like what did I feel like I still am struggling with, and then talk to my
Hmm.
opponent about it versus like
Totally.
yeah, I kind of have like an in life structure like that too. So I definitely am down to apply that kind of same thing to melee
Nice,
and
nice,
conversing.
cool.
Cool.
So I wanted to show you. I guess I guess we're gonna watch more ice climbers, but I did want to show you something that I noticed too. So wait, we'll watch this quick. And you actually pointed out a little bit, but the first interaction of this game. Oh, you grabbed.
Yeah. I fucking just jumped in Nair. That is my biggest downfall. I just go for Nair at 0, and I've written it down a few times. I am not grinding enough to like remember it all the time. Like not looking at my percents. That's a huge no no. But yeah, I
Yeah.
just got grabbed right away.
Yeah, because the thing
Uh,
is, Nair is not even a combo move. Both Dare and Shine are combo moves. They have better payoff and are safer. So,
Yeah, I worry about getting like shielded on a dare versus getting shielded on a nair, I guess,
hmm
because I feel more confident in overshooting a nair, if that makes sense. But
yep, that's
I didn't
true.
even overshoot it here. I just kind of ran up. And also I don't I do instant nair because I'm like, oh, I guess I'm used to wanting to stuff my opponent when I think they're gonna start coming in. And that's kind of why I throw it out is because I'm like, they're going to be holding in against me. I get this nair that leads into pivot up tilt, that leads into back air, and then I have like a somewhat of a start to an edge guard scenario. Um, and I did get a hit. I did get a hit, but I got the fucking other climber shielded. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the double shield thing too is bad. And they weren't even doing. I think you see it in later games. They do that like double shield thing where they light shield with Nana and then
hmm
hard shield with Popo, and like
Yeah.
that is something that like if they're doing that, that already means that I need to like take that as like a cue to be like a little bit more careful around the shield game too.
Yeah. Also, the shield came up after. This is just them being actionable because they got hit with 12% for damage.
Oh, oh,
Watch this Nair.
okay,
Watch it in frame.
yeah,
So you hit both of them
okay,
here. But then look
okay.
how soon they're actionable. You are still landing, and look, you're still in the
I'm not even
air,
I'm
and
not
they're
even on the
actionable.
ground.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
another thing I wanted to point out too, like what you told me was good in theory. Early Nair to stuff them, like coming in, but they were in place and you're running at them. So then it's like they
Yeah,
can, hold down and instead of approaching you without holding down.
right.
Um, so I guess what I would say to this is, um, if you're trying to defend yourself, sure, it makes sense to do the Nair, but you're drifting towards them, right? So
Yeah,
like,
hold
if you want to
forward.
do that, you have
Yeah.
to do the low aerials pretty much. Unless you
Okay.
see them in like a
I
vulnerable state kind of thing.
Okay. I think I just kind of worry about like short hopping in like that a little bit, but maybe I should just maybe that's something I should just practice is just like late short hop aerials.
Yes, I think at like the mom level, like everyone gets so much mile off shield grab. If you're unshield grabbable, it ups your defense like a lot.
For sure, definitely. That makes a lot of sense. I probably should think about that too. That is like the that is a huge chump check.
Dare, low nair, or low dare even. And
Yeah.
I would kind of say in this matchup, dare is kind of still risky because like it has a lot of end lag compared to nair. So I would go for the low nair. I would say actually.
Wait, I didn't even know that. How much end lag does a dare have in comparison to nair? Like
Have you ever used this website?
I actually think I have that bookmarked. Yeah, I do.
Nice. Some of the numbers are wrong, but it's normally fine. So let's look. Down air is 9, and then nair is going to be 7. Okay, it's not that much different actually. But yeah, it's actually pretty similar. 9 versus
But
7.
if you do that low dare, I know that the hit stun for getting like a grab is like really good because if you just like hit them with like one or two hits of it instead of the full drill, like you get like a longer stagger state out of them or something like before the drill finishes,
I'm not
and
sure
like you can kind
actually.
of go for like that's what Mello told me. He was saying like if in the Fox Ditto, if you like try to go for like the reason that that fade back dare is really good is because if you just hit a couple hits of it, then it's like the best kind of dare that you can get because it's just it ups the hit lag or the hit stun by a lot.
I mean, I guess that would
I'm
make
not
sense
sure
because
how
of
much.
scaling, but it is true. I'm looking at this. So the shield stun is 3 frames versus the shield stun of this is 7 frames. So I do think actually nair is probably better on shield. And like
Yeah,
it's not like you really get. I mean, you're kind of worried about drill shining only one of the climbers and then getting grabbed with the other one. So, in general, this matchup, I would say lone air or running shine is the main thing.
okay,
Um,
yeah. I could have running shine more. I think I'm pretty confident in my running shines. I think the big thing though is like when I am fighting someone that has that can punish me for holding down very well if I come in. Like I struggled with that with Peach for a long time where like I played against a Peach main who would just down smash my every approach and
hmm,
it's tough because with running shine you have to make sure that you build enough space to like you get the you can access running shine because
right.
otherwise you have to jump cancel it before 12 frames and that's like really tough. I know the distance pretty well. I used to when I was first starting out melee I used to only lab frame data for my movement. So like you might see me like be really confident with like movement sometimes, and like that's like because I put like a lot of time into it. But I think that other parts of my game plan are like not nearly as fleshed out, and that's like really what holds me back as a player.
Gotcha. Yeah. And yeah, I think I agree. Like when I've seen you move, you definitely have some impressive stuff. But that's just part of melee. Like there's always more to learn, which is kind of the fun journey of it.
Yeah,
Okay. So I wanted to show you that. So basically, like, if wobbling was legal, you die here. And like, if
yeah,
Arnaldo got this regrab, you could have died here. So it's like this is important versus Spacies or like versus Icy, sorry, versus like Marth, like you could die here. So this is a pretty important mistake.
yeah.
And I want to show
What's
you
up
it
with the
happens
melee, by
again.
the way?
Okay, so this was fine, right? You got a lone air shine, but you do this a lot actually. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I'm definitely like putting myself. I can't even like tell if you're like moving it at this point because it looks like I'm doing the exact same thing. Nair, shine out. Yeah, I was just like going for Nair shine mix-ups or Nair like F smash mix-ups, and it was paying off because I was getting Nana like and out of her shield a lot. But yeah, it's definitely not like if they were shielding that whole time, like all of those would have been really bad.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to say one more thing too. So I guess I'll define it. So if you kill Nana or like secondary climber, then Icy's punish is way worse. So like it, how everyone says it's like hard for Sopo? Because like really the main power of ice climbers is they have a pretty realistic, kill opportunity off grab always.
Uh-huh.
Versus Fox and Fox at least.
Yeah.
So like this should be like a pretty high priority thing. It's not as good as taking a stock necessarily, but it's like the second best thing. Because it makes your game plan like simple too. If you
Yeah.
if you look for killing Nana. And so like this type of opportunity is a great setup. Here, ice climbers always double jump. They never up B by themselves, basically. And if they double jump at the ledge, you just shine them or you hit them one more time. So you could just run off
Okay.
shine here. Like you have, except you target switch to Popo here. But
Yeah.
if you can't kill Popo, then the next best thing is to kill Nana.
Okay. I think that that was an okay target switch in that scenario
Mhm.
because I kind of saw it as like if I hit him with this back air, he goes flying forward and he's at 61, so he's going to go a decent distance, and I also do get to probably F smash Nana again and keep her out. Like I was trying to separate them and like kind of
Oh,
make that my
totally.
game plan.
Yeah, I mean, this instance is probably fine because you're right. Like, if you can do this and then maybe get a kill on Popo, that could be better, right? But
Yeah.
it's just something
Actually,
to try and define, I think.
the main I do think that in that moment, I do think that you're totally right. Like my priority should have shifted to Nana. I think the way that I thought about it too is I used to talk to I used to do like analysis with Nav sometimes, and
Hmm.
you showed me some. I was going over some fox dittos with him, and that bear that I just did, he told me that that's like extremely safe. Like I can just like bear like that, and it's like there's not really a like a very easy um punish reaction to it if I just full drift in with like bear
Totally. Yeah,
like off stage. So I kind of kept that in mind as like this is tournament. I need to play safe. This is my safe option. That's also good that I'm going to do. And I wasn't really prepared for the position it put me in afterward. I didn't really know like what to expect. And that's kind of how I played it a lot of time was like I just need to be fast and overwhelm them, go in right after I do this and just like keep hitting them and like bait them, make sure that like I can but, it's definitely not as precise as I would like it to be. I think my movement is okay. I think my precision is lacking. Like I should have thought about that option a little bit more.
I mean, that's
Um,
what this type of like review session is for because it formulates like some new ideas. So,
yeah. So
and
that's good. I
go for it.
could pro- I could probably like look at those that situation again and like if I ever do find that bear again, I can say like, okay, was this time I did the bear better than the last time I did bear? Or should I just be only going for this shine and getting that nana? Which I mean, honestly, it sounds like I probably should just be going for the shine. I just don't know, like again, with my lack of comfortability at the ledge, maybe
Sure.
that was a thought process that I was kind of like having a bit of
Yeah.
like I was kind of skimping out on a little bit. But
Yeah.
that's also something that I'm gonna have to like put work in on is like if I get my ledge game a little bit better, maybe I would feel a little bit more confident going for that option.
Totally. And yeah, I'll say from the theoretical standpoint, like not necessarily you, but like I think it's pretty justifiable to go for Nana for another reason, which is Nana to kill here, is the shine, right? It's one move, like run off shine. It's pretty quick,
Yeah,
and it's not that complicated to do. Versus to kill Popo here with that bear, right? You start up another edge guard, kick him off stage with the bear, but then you still have to do the edge guard. And then at that point,
yeah,
he might have he might be hit with Nana over here, so then he can like up B and stuff like that and side B. So it's like a kind of a tough edge guard, right? Or like a normal edge guard. So it's like
right.
the chance of it succeeding is like is potentially, or like, sorry, the chance of succeeding is lower, but the payoff might be higher because you can maybe get the stock of that situation. But like this is like a
Right.
guaranteed really pushing your advantage. So
Yeah, yeah. It's I definitely know what you're saying. It's kind of like looking at like you have like two homework assignments and like you're trying to like, oh, I'm gonna tackle my big project right here so I get the good grade. And it's like, oh, but there's definitely like this little assignment that I just have to turn in. And like I just didn't turn it in because I was like, you
yeah,
know, I was like to tackle the bigger idea basically, and I should have just gone for like the easy points basically, or like it's like some people how they go for a move out of a situation that's just going to lead to damage only and not like lead to a bigger like combo setup. Like I remember I've been to a few tournaments like in person and like I'll watch like Fox Dittos and I'll be like asking them afterward like, hey, like I saw you like just up throw up smash here, like I don't understand like why you did that versus like chain grabbing or something. They're like, "Oh, I just wanted the damage." And it kind of makes sense to like you can kind of be like, "Okay, I think they're too good in this situation for me to like reliably punish them. So I'm just going to go for the free thing." And then like it's just kind of taking the free things when they're given to you is like is and that's tough because you have to react instinctually and like have and like kind of have that instinct, and I just didn't have the instinct to like just like go down and shine her. And I it's the same thing with Falcon. I feel like I don't just like run off and shine Falcon when he's recovering a lot, which is like really good against him too.
yeah, and
So
I was gonna say too, like I think those people are like totally fine doing these things. Like you could justify either one, but because it's like if you're really comfortable edge guarding ice climbers in this example, for example, or like for that fox ditto, like if you're really comfortable doing the chain grab, you should go for it, right? Because like you think it on expectation, like in tournament, it's gonna be the good outcome. But
yeah,
but yeah, but
I'm gonna
this
add
one's
run off
weird too
shine.
because like killing Nana is really good. Like, because it means it's really hard for Sobo to kill you, especially at 28%. Like he would have to really like outplay you a bunch. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to count actually how relevant this issue is for the high aerials, because I think it actually came up a bunch. So here, corner situation. Oh, you should have died there. It's fine. But yeah, we're actually just gonna write down every kill you get and then how many times they kill you too. I just want to like number that. Nice jab up smash. Okay, catching. Actually, I think they're jumping on a shield, right?
So yeah, I
Yep.
land behind them. They wanted
Nice.
to
That
back
was
air.
cool. That was cool. Um, kills and deaths. So, um, jab, catch. It's pretty cool. I've never actually done that jab up smash because the jab's not very committal.
Yeah, it's pretty good in that scenario. That's like something I like was doing like day one against like Peach. But then like I played like Saint Bong and he was like, oh yeah, you should just jab once because if you jab twice, then they get like two opportunities to SDI it.
Totally.
But if you just do it once, then they just like they can. It's like a kill confirm basically.
Thumbs and bird.
That was interesting. Just like down
Oh, you're
air,
still alive here.
smash.
Oh, when you tried to grab, I see. I see.
Oh,
So they're
I see.
crouching, and then they down smash to beat out your. Oh, you grab one of them. You grab Nana.
I got it. Yeah. Still,
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna write that down. So deaths, grab Nana in the corner, get down smash.
yeah, grab it. Just even like just the in between frames and like where you have to throw, like it gives so much time for an ice climber to like actually do something if they're just like trying to react.
Yeah. There is like some people could argue you get invincibility when you do throws actually, but like yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
Nice F smash. Oh yeah, Nana's dead. Nice. Okay,
Okay.
nasty. Nice, that was that really good damage.
Yep. Okay. I'm surprised I read that. Honestly, I was thinking about I should go down. Let's read it. Okay, up smash. And there's that bad shorty. I could have definitely just like jumped on and landed there, and that would have been fine.
You mean to the stage or platform?
To the stage, even on the platform, I could have. I honestly platform. I could have. There's a few different things I could have done. I could have like done a full hop, slightly fallen down, and then platform dashed and gotten
Mm.
in, and like done drill maybe if I was like thinking I could catch them off guard. But like I don't think drilling is like something I want to be doing much in this matchup if they're going to be in stationary. Like I need to try to catch them coming in with like a drift drill or something like that. Um, I think like yeah, I probably if I could had to rethink what option I would have ideally picked, I might have like full hopped, made it look like I was and like just gone back to ledge, or full hopped and then like gone onto the very edge of the stage and then tried to like pick a situation there to be a little bit more comfortable with. Like if I am landing sorry, I'm gonna like better explain. I feel like I'm not doing a good job. I'm saying full hop. I mean like jump from ledge. Like when I grab
Mm.
ledge,
Yeah.
like either like ledge refresh once and then see what situation that opens up. But then if I ledge dash or if I ledge jump once, I might go for like platform dash maybe a little bit like afterward. But
Hmm.
if I just like jumped straight up, I would have probably landed on the edge of stage to where like I'm facing inward, but I'm like got the edge to my back, and then I would have probably waited for climbers to come in, ran JC shines, and then landed on the platform, like wave dash onto the platform, just to
Sure.
kind of
Yeah.
take some space back. Um,
Yeah. That sounds reasonable.
that's probably like what I would have done ideally looking at it now, but I don't know if that's even like the best option. Maybe even just like up smashing because I know that again like up smash priority, like if you clink it, like it ends the move's animation, and I can probably just go for another one for free if I'm like reacting, but also um yeah, there's like a few different things that can happen there. Like if I'm holding down for one, then I can easily just get like killed. If I get down smash, then I go sliding off the side and it's like super momentum. That's bad.
Yeah. So I'll say that I didn't fully like I don't fully like visualize what you're saying exactly, but that might be something like you literally write that down as a suggestion like during next time I play ICs or like maybe even versus other characters. I want to try this and see like if it's good or like what it can beat
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it's a good idea. And right.
Another thing I would tell you too here is like so you actually had enough time to dash and you decide to dash in because you're like maybe I want stage a little bit more. But if you
Yeah.
did roll or spot dodge or full hop, they all had time to come out to like basically say like, oh shit, I'm in a bad situation. I need to like do a defensive option. All of these I think would have worked.
Oh, okay. So wait, can you rewind it so we're yeah, before I get grabbed?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's see.
This is a little bit before.
Nice. So yeah,
Okay, I think you
then
get
I
ledge
started
here.
falling.
Yeah, yeah, okay, and then yeah,
Yeah, I did start a dash in, and I definitely. Yeah, I think something I could have looked for is at least conditioned them with an up smash there. If I could have like seen it as like looking back at it now, I know that they had barely enough time to get a grab there. But I had actually they had barely not enough time to get a grab there, and I could have gotten something off of that. I could even have just like I couldn't have gotten a jab, but the problem is with this matchup is you never know what percent Nana's at. But I'm pretty sure that Nana takes a little bit more percent damage than Popo over time, and like her or maybe just that her knockback initiates like higher at lower percents. I think like she's like a little bit like easier to kill that way.
oh, it's because she doesn't DI at all.
Oh, okay. I see.
So
So
she
up
dies from
smash
kill
moves
moves
like
way earlier. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if her like if the other things that I mentioned, like if that's the case? I think that it could just be misinformation that I read, but I think that someone I saw like in a Discord said that Nan or like it was actually a spreadsheet of like it was
When
like
moves
Kirby
kill?
stuff. Yeah, it was like a Kirby like spreadsheet or something like that of like what moves like kill or what percent. And I remember like there was like a separate bracket for Nana, and all of her like percents were like a little bit lower than Popo's for like how to kill her. So I just feel like
She might also
maybe
have weird
that's something
properties
to
too.
it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I it's not a matchup I play enough to like know for sure.
That's interesting.
Um,
If so, I just thought it was because like she usually just DIs like with no DI. I'm pretty sure. So,
yeah, yeah,
and it means your setups for comboing her are really like more consistent, which is nice.
that is nice. Yeah, I didn't actually know that, so I'm gonna have to exercise that.
Yeah, like there's a really common setup where like foxes really just do the running shine, and then she always double jumps at the ledge, and then you just shine her double jump. Like yeah,
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, there's a few different things you could do there. You could like shine, short hop off shine, or like shine, wave dash, like drop down shine. There's wow,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
actually really good.
You can cover it in a
I
bunch of
remember that
ways.
one.
Yeah, and even if you take some
Yeah,
damage, like if you took like 30 damage for like a bad recovery after that or something like that, it's like fine. Like 30 damage is worth a nano stock, I would say. So.
yeah, running shine. Am I putting this in the right spot? I don't know if I am.
I mean, it's your
This
notes, so
is
you do what you want with it, as long as like when you review this, you have you understand everything. I think it's fun.
yeah. I'm gonna put parentheses for some things that I don't like. Or like the parentheses for the reason why I'm trying to like ask this question. Choosing different options to recover from ledge, avoiding um, climbers, wave dash in kill setups, and then running shine Nana at ledge, set up early Nana gimps slash exploit for double jump. Okay, cool.
Then we'll try to zoom through the rest of this game, but I wanted to
Yeah,
count how many times you do the high aerials and stuff. So far, it's only two, but I thought you punished it for it more. But nice. Okay, actually, this is super cool. So, up tilt on ice climbers, up B refresh, up air kill.
and I tried to shield drop twice there and I missed them both.
It's fine. It happens.
Sometimes I'm like, if I miss three in a row, I'm like, okay, no more shield drops this game. Like just run offs.
Oh yeah. So you actually died basically 0 to death here. So it was this,
I
and
got
then you're
nicked by
jabbing.
that. Tried to dash away.
Oh, I think you probably had enough time to roll, maybe. Let's look.
Yeah, I definitely should have like been able to pull there.
Oh yeah, you're trying to dash through, but you had enough frames to roll, for sure.
Yeah. And
Eh,
I don't know why I jabbed there. I just jabbed at ledge. That was probably not a great option considering that like choosing a low commit an option, but I'm in like really bad positioning.
oh, you jabbed here, you're right. Yeah, and you could full hop here, basically, or roll.
Okay, full hop or roll there. Yeah, full hop would get beaten by like jump, drift, up air by both of them, but I don't think it would put me in a worse position than this. Like,
The
and I
jabbing,
think
yeah.
that roll through would could potentially lose to like a down smash, and like
Yeah, but
maybe I get fucked by that.
they would have to hard read both of those options. So like right
Right?
now,
Yeah.
they're trying to cover a bunch of things by you like doing nothing or like getting outspaced by the down smash. But like
Yeah.
full hop is hard for them to cover really, and like
Yeah.
they can't kill you off of it. So
Yeah.
and on the
That's actually
bigger
something I want to
stages,
lab.
you have full hop side B to top platform, or full hop go back to ledge, or full hop go to the side plats. So or come down on them if they whiff. Say they would come in and they would with the down smash. You can full hop on them and like shine or drill.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then this was unfortunate. Yeah, I think you DI'd both moves wrong. Unfortunately, you DI'd the
I
dash dash
got it in and then
in.
out.
Yeah, and then out.
Oh, so bad.
It's okay though. I mean, it happens, especially if you're not familiar with their combos. But I want to write down this one too. So I would say the cause of death for this one was um, like spamming jab as defensive option lost to um, like ASDI down grab and down smash. Consider full hop or roll as ways to get out of the corner or scraps. Like they're actually similar too.
Yeah, shield was so small. I don't think I could have like reliably gotten the up air there, but if I could have shield poked or forced a roll.
Oh,
What the fuck? How did that not?
it clanked or something.
She invincible? Oh
Oh
no,
yeah,
there
and
is a clank hitbox. What the fuck? Because if she was, she isn't intangible, but she might be invincible there.
yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. I didn't know about that. Okay, that was yeah. Okay,
Actually,
roll
I
through
do know
shine.
Fiction has a video on the upbeat too, if you're curious about it. I was actually watching it earlier, but I don't know if I retained the information.
Oh, Icy's up
Fiction,
B.
yeah, I see.
By the way, bananas. That's the reason that I think fucking Wave Dash and Down Smash is so good. I feel like he like that Smash Summit he played where he just he kept winning sets with Wave Dash and Down Smash. It was so crazy.
I mean, he was Bananas was good, and that was when Wobbling was legal too. But I'm pretty sure he beat Mewtwo and Mango in that summon. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, where the heck? Where is it? Icy? Wait, I swear I watched it earlier today. Um,
Try try to try to type Ice Climbers.
there we go.
Oh,
So this
there
is
we
all
go.
about upbeat. So maybe your answer is here. Maybe. Who knows?
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you want to yeah, post
And
it. Perfect.
yeah, and another thing I would do, so we have so much for you to learn about, right? But I
Yeah.
would say if you have time, while this is still in your head, I would try to prioritize it. I did some of it because like I think this is probably the most important, because you died for it a couple times.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I think the top two are pretty reasonable right now. But then like stuff like this, actually like this I would say is not something necessarily you need to learn more about. You could just practice this one. Like just practice
Yeah.
Shiner.
Okay. I see. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna move it. Um yeah, and you can also prioritize this like you can definitely disagree with me with what you think is like you're comfortable with already or whatever it is. But
hmm
I definitely think okay. Um
I have a hard time being like like I can't really disagree with somebody if I'm like not fully confident in something. I always think it's like good to like check down the avenues. It's just like my whole thing is like what avenue is the most important.
Gotcha.
I try to like go for most ideal for me and like what I think is fun though, which is like not what I need to be doing all the time. You gotta try to make the boring stuff more fun for yourself. I feel like that's like a big part of this game. It's like there's a lot of stuff that's like kind of monotonous and like you have to grind it out. And like that's where I'm at with ledge dashing is I can't. I used to do it all the time and like now I'm just like, it's so tough and I just like don't want to keep having to do this like tough hand motion. I feel like my hands are gonna like curl and contort into fucking like dead spiders or some shit.
I'm saying, you can switch to keyboard. It's better now than tomorrow. Like, cause
Oh man,
I'm telling you, keyboard is nice. I try it sometimes, and it's kind of nice.
I've heard, I've seen, and like
Connection masters.
I've seen the waifu keyboard, and I do agree. Like maybe he'll get his own turn down for Walt episode when he wins fucking gets a huge upset with that thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that'll be
yeah,
crazy.
I think there's definitely merit to what you're saying, especially with the wave of like box pad controllers like just being present and dash dancing. You can't deny like dash dancing's like so good on it, and there's
Oh
like a
my,
lot of
it's
like
crazy good. Oh my god,
yeah.
okay. No offense to all the GameCube controller players, but like literally, it's like the rectangle players have a crazy good dash chances because it's like it's so quick. You don't have to have any motion in between.
Yeah, it's just like you lab that for a little bit, and if like I already have like very intimate like frame knowledge of like how Fox's like dash dance works, so I feel like it would be an easy transition for me. Except like the execution isn't a whole different thing because I don't have like that. I've never been a keyboard like or computer gamer, so that's the thing that I
Oh,
kind
I
of worry like
see.
holds me back.
I see.
Like for a lot of people, I know a lot of like when I got into like League and realized like how high like the execution ceiling was for someone that wasn't a keyboard gamer versus like someone who played controller like all their life, I was like, yeah, this might not be for me. Like I can't do keyboard and mouse. Like if it was just keyboard though, maybe it's a little bit more possible. I just am not like super
Yeah, mouse is really
don't
different. I think
yeah.
keyboard is kind of comparable to controllers because it's button pressing.
Right, definitely. It's just like digital input. You have to be a little more sensitive with the keyboard because you're putting your force down on something versus like having like a consistent like when I hold a controller like I move my thumbs up and like my index fingers back and those four fingers take care of everything versus like a keyboard I have 10 fingers and I can easily miss input by putting a little bit too much pressure or like being a little bit too tense like it's just something to like practice if anything takes practice and like I just am a little bit too tense right now when it comes to like consistency with playing like keyboard games.
Yeah. And I mean, like if your hands are hurting from practicing ledge dashing, like that's the reason why you don't want to do it or anything like that, then yeah, definitely e- even if you switch to keyboard, it's something you have to learn to practice with loose grip so you can do it like and
Yeah.
like no tension. So it's like your hands can move quickly as well. Like it helps
Right.
with speed.
Yeah, definitely. Like move like water.
Yep. It's a good quote. It's true. Um,
Um,
okay, so actually, I need to go kind of soon. But
okay.
look, we can finish this game and see what the final kill was. Oh, shield grab in the
Yeah.
corner. Oh,
And then it's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
same
So I want to see,
situation.
are you actionable for this one too? Nice up B. Oh no, you
Yeah,
barely are
just
not.
barely.
Not,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was able to pivot. So I could like get my shield up, but I don't know that my shield would like
cover
work.
you. Yeah, totally. But I would say this one is also a corner scrap. So it's like, I think it started from the high dare on shield. High dare on shield. Var ledge situation. Yeah. So I would say honestly though, like we spent, an hour and I guess like an hour and a half talking about this one game, but we also talked about a bunch of stuff. But like
Yeah.
if you do this type of thing like once a week, you will see like improvement because you're gonna be learning a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think that this is definitely good to like kind of go through and like cycle. I It also really helps me. This is probably the most formulaic approach I've seen to it so far, like a Google Doc. Like I've paid a few different like top players in Washington to like give me some analysis, and the closest I would say is like Mikey to like giving me like a really good breakdown. He would do like a thing where he had like a little he could like draw on the screen and kind of like show me the scenarios which like did help me like visually, but I think that like when I look at what we've written down here there's a lot more tangible that like I can hold and like kind of keep using versus like what I've seen visually and like represented for myself.
Hmm. That's awesome.
Because like yeah, that stuff kind of comes down to instinct where this is actually like thinking productively about something, and I think that that's really important. That's like you have to have like productive thoughts about this game, and you have to like really kind of ask yourself questions to get yourself like comfortable in every situation. I think also like yeah, like you pointed out like something I would have not really looked for there is that I was actionable 2 out of the 3 times that I did those side Bs. And like I wouldn't have even consider that. And you opened up the idea for like, oh, I could reaction up smash if I think that they're just gonna like barely not make it, or I could buffer roll, or I could full hop. Like there's so much there to now work with that like I didn't inherently understand. So maybe I'll practice like side being right above um ledge just as like a way like to say to myself, "Hey, if I feel like I'm so uncomfortable and I can't consciously stop myself from doing that in the moment, maybe I still have opportunity there that I didn't see and maybe I can make something out of it." But um I think that also, like, that's probably gonna be more secondary to the first things we talked about, like, just, like, choosing better, like, options, like, 2000 pre-2015 ledge dash options, um, just, like, ways to kinda get o like, back to center against those 2, because that's my biggest struggle right now is, like, retaking center.
Yeah,
Um,
totally agree. And also, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh like making fun of you. I was just laughing because you're right. It was like definitely secondary, and like I was just so shocked that you would think to practice like messing up and then like correcting that thing like as a practice thing. Like that's actually really interesting because I've never thought of that, but it could be useful for sure.
I think it's like I kind of think about this game in like weird ways sometimes because I think about like I missed an opportunity and so therefore like I need to like think about not missing that opportunity again because
Sure,
like it would have looked so clean had I just done the up smash after that first
sure,
one, and
totally, yeah,
the other ones after that maybe not so much, but at the very least, I create a situation where now I've conditioned him to second guess coming in like that, and that
sure,
would maybe at least have gotten me more mileage off of those side Bs afterward,
hmm
and it's just a totally different approach to like what you're recommending, but I also think that what you're recommending is like the better learner's approach. Like you're kind of giving me like the better like approach for someone that wants to like just do the right things as opposed to like thinking on the fly. And like I see like on the fly things as good too because it's just about like knowing how your character moves, like
totally,
ask like that's just what it comes down to for me is like just like I want to be able to be in control of my character whenever I'm able to. And those ledge situations, it's just such a bad scenario for me that I already don't feel in control. So if I feel like I've locked in an option, like I can at least be a little bit more conscious of it. I don't think I'm gonna really practice it that much, but I think it's something that I can now be conscious of, which is like because it's not really. I don't think I need to practice that. Like I, at the very least, I just that need to like hold shield and realize like what the buffer timing is, and then I'm like, oh okay,
yeah,
I just know to like up smash like at this time now.
yep, totally. Yeah, I
Cool.
was gonna
Well,
say too. I was like, okay, no, actually, I forgot what I was gonna say, but you go, you go.
aw. I was just gonna say if you want to wrap up now, if you had a balance, I would have liked to look over the other games, but I feel like we've got so much like here that I can like work with, and it is the exact same every time I've like done analysis with other people. Like we don't always have time to like get to the other games, and like this is like so much to work with. Um, that even if I feel like I made good adaptations, like I can go in with a stronger game one than I would have before, and
Totally.
hopefully I run into the student bracket again.
Yeah, Arnaldo shows up pretty often. I do remember what I was gonna say. It was about comparing this like session to other like lessons you've gotten or something like that, which is like I think the same way. I've actually talked to Mello about this. So one time Mello got a lecture from Fiction, and I was like, oh, Fiction, great teacher. How did you like the
I
lesson,
want that
Mello?
live, yeah.
Yeah, and then Mello was like, oh, it was okay, and it's because like you know even those lessons, even if you prep for it, you still only get an hour of their time to like tell you answers and stuff like that. Like to really improve in melee, you have to internalize your learning over time. It's like because our session here, like I didn't give you really that many answers. I gave you the tools for you to do it, the work. So
Yeah, and that's huge already 'cause, it's tough when you are kinda like you wanna bake a cake and you're visualizing the end result, but you don't know the steps to get there,
hmm
and, this is kind of like you're kinda showing me, like, more of the steps that I need to be considering, because if I'm, like, fully prepared, then I can start cooking, you know?
totally.
That's
I
that's
look
just
forward
how
to
it
when
needs
you're
to be.
cooking.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, and I do appreciate you taking some time, like a good amount of time, to, like talk to me about this and like just extending your help too. I'm down to do more of these like a little bit more regularly if you ever like want to. I am probably going to keep consistently entering on Tuesdays, so I should have like more stuff that I want to work on. But I think that you gave me a lot today. Like I have a good chunk of free time that I didn't really have before, and I'm just going to go ahead and like try to like tackle a few of these head on.
For sure. Yeah, we'll talk about that schedule more in the future, but for sure, I enjoyed the session, and I hope. Are you? Blah, blah, blah. I'll talk to you later about uploading to YouTube and stuff, so you have that as well. But
Yeah,
for
for
now,
sure. I just got OBS, so I'm super down to like upload some stuff and like look back over some things.
nice, nice. But yeah,
All right.
I'm
Well,
gonna have
thank
to
you so
piece for
much,
now.
Zach.
See you, Paulie. Thanks again.
Yeah, take it easy. Bye bye.